Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and today we have another brew video. This is the man who turned his chewing gum into a bomb. He made one mistake. Okay, he probably made quite a few mistakes, but he made one very fatal mistake. Man, the amount of ways people have accidentally ended their own life is astounding. Or more, it's the fact that we have so many detailed records of how it happened. Anyway, enjoy.
Vladimir Lukonos from Konotop in northeastern Ukraine was working on his computer in his parents' home in the late hours of Saturday, December 5th, 2009.
But this was like recent. Holy shit. Okay, I say recent. We're almost looking at 12 years now or something like that, right?
But what started out as a normal evening turned to disaster in an instant when his family heard a deafening bang. Ah!
What's the matter with you?
Shattering the previously relaxed atmosphere of the home. They ran towards the noise as fast as they could and were met with an awful sight. Worse than anything they could have ever imagined. The room was a mess of papers scattered across the floor, and there was a strange stench floating in the air. Amidst the chaos, their eyes were immediately drawn to the unimaginable sight. When his relatives entered the room, they saw that the lower parts of the young man's face had been blown off. An aide to the Konotop police chief told Ukrenews.com.
His what was...
You know how awful that would be is if you're the family and you walk into that shit and you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
What?
His jaw was blown right off his face. Vladimir was barely clinging to life, and his family...
I am surprised he was not just killed right off the bat. Holy fuck.
Immediately
That's
called for an
awful.
ambulance.
Do you know how horrible
But
that would feel?
when paramedics arrived,
oh my
there
God.
was nothing more they could do. Even some of our seasoned officers, who have seen a thing or two, even they were pretty badly shaken up by what they found. Police spokeswoman Elvira Biganova said. And sadly, it wasn't long before Vladimir Lukonos was dead.
I mean, as far as like the horrible things that happen to people, that might have been like a kindness, unfortunately.
Dead. Just chilling there. And then jaw exploded and dead? How?
Gum.
What?
You see, on Vladimir's work table,
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the whole fucking title.
there was a clue sitting amongst the chaos. Gum wrappers.
I
Turns
still
out,
don't get it.
Vladimir really liked to chew gum.
Okay.
In fact, those close to him knew that it was more likely for him to be seen in the middle of chomping down on a piece than not. So it's pretty safe to assume that he was, in fact,
What do you want to bet his entire family's never fucking touched a piece of gum since?
doing just that when the incident took place.
But come on, Brew, really? When has chewing gum ever hurt anyone?
Well, we've actually done a video in the past that focused on a young girl who chewed and swallowed such an excessive amount of gum so often that large clumps of it became lodged in her stomach.
Okay, so that means she kept swallowing gum though, right?
She experienced sudden seizures and a deficiency of calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. She passed away in the hospital after
I think that one was I actually remember that story. I think she was from like Brazil or something like that.
falling into a coma from what her doctor said was cerebral hypoxia caused by convulsions and electrolyte depletion.
That was
Essentially,
a little different
her
though.
electrolytes were so low that it gave her seizures, and her convulsions cut off oxygen supply to her brain, leading to her death. It's unclear whether this depletion in her essential nutrients and her untimely passing was caused by an excessive amount of the artificial sweeteners within the gum, or if it was due to a blockage caused by the gum that was built up within her stomach.
I guess another reason not to have insane levels of sucralose, right?
So it wasn't exactly the act of chewing gum itself, but like with anything else, excess chewing and swallowing of gum can be quite dangerous.
Uh-huh, yeah. Don't swallow gum, got it. This has nothing to do with Buddy's face getting blown off, bro. Howard, can gum do something like this?
The act of chewing gum itself has not been known to cause extensive
I want a sentient coffee pot. What the fuck? Who needs Neo when you can have a sentient talking coffee pot?
injuries like the ones Vladimir sustained. It does, however, have the potential to cause cavities, tooth decay, and gum disease, especially in gum with high amounts of sugar. It can also cause damage to dental work, such as fillings, crowns, and braces.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've had a lot of fucking dental work done, and it wasn't gum for me. It was always fucking Starburst and Skittles. Those are the things that did a lot of damage.
as well as cause jaw muscle fatigue along with damaging the temporomandibular joint, otherwise known as the TMJ.
Exactly.
That
Last
I
time
don't
I
have to deal
checked,
with
bro,
so
gum doesn't explode.
No, it's not really known for its incendiary properties, is it?
Oh, well, then it wasn't just the gum, now was it? There must have been something else going on.
Indeed. His family actually noted that he had a pretty strange, though not completely unheard of, habit to go along with his constant compulsion to chew gum. We all know that bubble gum doesn't last forever. Eventually, after a
It actually gets like really tough too after a certain point.
certain period of time, the gum loses its taste and becomes denser. Usually, at this point, people just spit out the gum, put it in the garbage, and move on with their life. But others, like Vladimir, take a different approach. At this point, it is important to make note of something else that was sitting on his desk on the night of the explosion.
Oh God.
A little bag filled with a white, powdery substance.
What the fuck do you have that blows up on your... Okay, no.
That's incredibly sus. Is
And
it
vague.
the white powdery substance I'm thinking of?
Are you thinking of citric acid?
No,
Nope.
I was not.
Well, citric acid is featured
Wait a second. I've never heard of citric acid blowing up either. Like, citric acid is just like highly concentrated, effectively... Well, it's not quite the same as lemon juice, but... Like, I never heard of high levels of citric acid, like, blowing up. And it would have to be somewhat smaller, too, though, to fit on, like, gum. Because my guess is he was dipping it, his gum in citric acid to make it, have flavor again, right? Because that would be one reason to use it, right? Actually, a lot of people do that, if I think. Oh, that would be interesting. That is actually possible, too. A lot of random shit happens in these videos.
in the ingredient lists of many common household products. In food and drink, it preserves flavor, while in cosmetics and personal care products, it prolongs shelf life and even improves skin smoothness.
And it's really good for cleaning things like ice machines.
Citric acid is also used in household cleaners to remove stains and hard water buildup,
Yep.
like in coffee machines. In disinfectants to kill bacteria and viruses, and in medicines to treat conditions like kidney stones and metabolic acidosis.
Right.
It's a colorless and odorless naturally occurring compound found in citrus fruits like lemons, limes, oranges, and even berries, giving them their characteristic tart taste. It was first discovered by a
But like,
sweet
even if he ate a whole fucking spoonful, which, by the way, would be absolutely the worst idea ever. So... There's no way that'd cause an
Swedish
explosion.
researcher by the name of Carl Wilhelm Scheele in 1784.
So it has to
But
be
as the
something
years
else
went
than
on and its uses
citric
grew,
acid.
researchers in the early 1900s discovered that the black mold Aspergillus niger could produce citric acid when it feeds on sugar, and synthetic production of it really took off.
Wait, what?
Lovely.
I thought black mold was, like, really bad for you.
Yes, if you find it in your home and you're actively breathing in black mold from your environment, that's not good, and you should get that taken care of
But in a lab setting, it's totally fucking different because you can isolate certain parts of it.
ASAP. But that being said, the citric acid that is derived from this specific mold is mostly okay to consume.
Mostly?
Well, there are some risks that have been reported in connection to synthetically made citric acid, such as swollen, stiff joints, muscle and stomach pain, and even shortness of breath. But it hasn't been proven to be a direct
Lovely.
result of the citric acid itself and is more likely caused by the mold residue from the production process. These symptoms are known to be rare, and citric acid is generally recognized as safe by the FDA. However, there's a chance more research is needed.
Safe, huh?
Yeah,
Well,
there's always more
I think
research
Vladimir
needed for
would
something,
disagree.
right?
Why was it on his desk anyway?
Right, well, Vladimir's unique habit he liked to do with his gum? He would dip it into a bag of citric acid so it could retain or reinvent the gum's flavor once
Yeah, I could see that being a thing. Basically, he was creating like Warhead versions of the gum, right? Because Warheads basically are dipped in citric acid for their extra sour
its
flavor.
original taste died down too much. This way, he could continue chewing the same piece for
Save
pretty
money.
extended periods of time.
Okay, so Buddy really liked chewing gum. I get it. But sour powder doesn't really scream kablamo half your face is gone. Also, if it was a
Right?
habit, I'm sure he did it pretty often, and obviously this had never happened before.
Like, did it, like, build
Howard,
up?
Does citric acid by itself have the ability to cause an explosion?
It does not.
Yeah,
Symptoms
okay.
like the ones you previously listed are possible. An excessively acidic sweetener, such as citric acid, may burn holes in mouth tissue, but it has never caused an explosion like the one.
I've actually heard of that. Some people have overloaded things like, because you can use citric acid in like salsa and stuff. Yeah, it sounds like he dipped it in something other than citric acid that is also a white powder. But I don't know, like what is his
Nor
like
could it.
degree?
It does,
I guess
however,
what was he working on?
properties if powdered or granular citric acid becomes airborne and is exposed to a spark. Therefore, when working with citric acid, it is important to prevent dust buildup.
Thank you, Howard. The only thing is, as far as anyone could tell, the powder remained within its bag, and there was nothing in the room that could have acted as a spark source.
I'm sorry, no, back up. Did he just say mouth holes? How do you hear that an ingredient in our food causes mouth holes?
Okay, that you'd have to eat like a shit ton of them though. It's like when people overeat anything, you know, or if you eat a fucking spoonful.
And just carry on with your day like nothing happened.
Oh, yeah. Well, there are a number of documented cases of food products with large amounts of artificially added citric acid, such as sour candy, actually burning holes in people's mouths.
It's got to be Warheads. Warheads has got to be one of them.
The candy with the most repeat offenses being Warheads.
Yeah, fucking knew it. It's always fucking Warheads.
For example, in 2018, Mary Thulwit of California posted photos of her
Yeah, but you get extra holes with Warheads. Because what happens is when you eat like 3 or 4 of them and like you hold them in the top of your mouth, it starts causing actual skin tissue damage. You know how a lot of people are like, oh, my mouth is raw or whatever. How are they not banned? I guess because there's warnings on them technically, right?
Son Chase to Facebook as a warning to her friends and followers. He had only one of the extreme sour candies, but it was enough to strip an entire layer of skin from the center of Chase's tongue. She ended the post with a plea for others. Please do not give these to your children. But he wasn't the only one to fall victim.
The question is, did he actually only have one? He probably didn't. He might have. He could have had a weird allergic reaction. But, you know, as a kid, I would have told my mom I had one when I had 5.
Australian 4-year-old Willow Wright's innocent mistake turned into a sour nightmare when she got into her brother's candy stash. Willow quickly ate 10 Warheads in secret while her mom, Christy,
That's more likely the scenario.
was working upstairs.
Whoa, she ate 10 of them? I'm barely able to handle one. I salute her and her...
The only horrible Warhead terrible thing is, have you guys seen the Warhead pickles? Like the blue raspberry Warhead pickles are fucking awful. I tried one as like a dare kind of a thing. It is the most disgusting thing on the planet. That's probably not true, but it's pretty high up there for horrible things that they've made.
Bravery.
It's true, but I'm not sure it was a feat of bravery. I don't think she fully understood what she was doing, other than sneaking as much candy from her big brother as possible. And within minutes, Willow ran upstairs yelling to her mom that her tongue was in a lot of pain. She opened her mouth and
My guess is that kid didn't have one. The first kid, he probably had a couple.
revealed the startling state within. A large hole left on her tongue where the skin peeled off.
Holy smokes!
Christy called the doctor right away upon seeing it for herself. Unfortunately, there was nothing that could be done but use ice and pain medication while it healed naturally. Willow later revealed to reporters that it feels like my skin was coming off. Good question, Bean. The simple answer? Acid. These candies contain so much acid in order to give them their signature extreme sour taste. Eating any more than one could be a bad
Damn it, I really want a Warhead now.
idea.
Dang, so citric acid is bad. You think it caused so much burning in Vladimir's mouth that it just up and
I swear Warheads actually have like a warning on it that says don't eat more than one within a certain amount of time. But maybe they don't. But then again, who the fuck would read that, right?
exploded everywhere?
I know no kid would.
Short answer? No. Citric acid was among the types of sweetening acids used in Warheads ingredients, but it was not the only one. Among the citric acid was malic acid and ascorbic acid.
That's true.
But they are found in a wide array of sour candy, including Sour Skittles and Sour Patch Kids, and people should use caution when
Sour Skittles have actually caused damage to my mouth. Because I used to eat those things all the time. I had like one of those big gumball machines, but I had it filled with Sour Skittles. That was like one of the worst ideas ever. Because, you eat like 30 of them and you're like, oh, everything's fine. And then you just can't eat anything for like fucking, like, especially if you eat like soup. You try eating like hot soup after that. is like excruciating pain. I probably should have gone to the fucking doctor.
and consuming them, especially in large amounts.
Maybe I'm just stupid.
We put the most malic acid as
Don't
allowed
answer
by
that.
law, said a Warhead spokesman during an interview. Meanwhile, Jonathan Teo from the Dental Association of Australia said, products with this level of acid or pH can cause chemical burns to cheeks and tongue. Aside from
Lovely.
tongue burning, there's also a second side effect to our sour candy. It damages your teeth's enamel.
Yeah. So that's what happened with me. So I've probably done $25,000 worth of dental work in the last couple of years. What's funny is they still haven't matched my 2 front teeth to the rest of my other teeth. So I still don't have crowns on my 2 big, stupid fucking teeth at the beginning, but I've got crowns all over the place, and I've already had 5 root canals. Of all the things, especially if you're, 20-something right now, right? Take care of your fucking teeth. You can buy a car with how much damage you're going to cause if you're not careful. I have to use special fucking mouthwash at this point. It's $45 a bottle. And I don't really have a choice. I either use this or it's just going to keep getting worse.
Now, this is already the case with candies and sugar in general, but sour candies specifically have acid that can eat at enamel with the help of bacteria.
Yeah, my
and
enamel's
Warheads in particular
shot.
are so acidic, they have a similar pH level to hydrochloric acid. Warheads hard candies even have a warning label on their packaging that reads, eating multiple pieces within a short time period may cause temporary irritation to sensitive tongues and mouths.
Well, if that ain't the
That's not exactly a good warning. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have looked at that warning and be like, oh, that doesn't mean much.
statement of
Fuck
the
that.
century. How's about more like, may burn a hole in your tongue?
Yeah.
Indeed, the label doesn't quite cover the severity of the injuries that can take place. But get
What do you want to bet? A lot of people have actually fucking had problems with this. that warning was, I never would have even, I would have been like, oh, that's cute.
getting back to Vladimir's case,
So
if we can
fucking
conclude
stupid.
that citric acid, which he would often dip his chewing gum into to prolong its taste, cannot cause explosions or serious harm on its own,
Then what could have
Okay.
caused his face to blow up? There must have been something else going
Like,
on.
it couldn't be just a
Anything
build-up.
else on his desk that we should know about?
well, it seems as though there actually was something else present
there
that
we go.
might have been capable of causing such a terrible explosion. First, it's important to note that he was a chemistry student studying at the Kiev
Yeah, that would have been great to know from the beginning. A chemistry student, huh? I wonder what else he had at home. What's weird though is like when I was taking chemistry in college and whatnot, and this is like the first time through, which was around the same time as him, by the way. Yeah, they definitely bared the lead on this one. I was not allowed to take anything home from the lab. Like, everything was strictly controlled in the lab. Now, maybe that's different from where I was, and at the time in California, everyone's ultra careful when they don't need to be for certain things, right? I mean, but chemistry stuff can be dangerous as fuck. Maybe Ukraine didn't have as strict rules. I guess it depends on what type of, like, was he like a level like a year 4 student or whatever, right? Yeah, no, we were not allowed to take anything for souvenirs. Are you kidding? Do you know how insane that would be? Chemistry was like one of those like actually legit lockdown classes.
Polytechnic Institute, specifically in the electrochemical production department at the time of the incident. It turns out that along with citric acid, another white powdery substance was found on the scene.
Well, unfortunately, it's not cocaine, so that's not
100 grams of a highly explosive substance.
it. Okay.
Finally, an actual answer.
Not quite.
Okay.
The explosive substance, no one knew what it was. But maybe he had a project due or a subject to research and wanted to work on it from the comfort of his own home and took the white, powered explosive substance with him to his house in a similar bag as he would keep his citric acid. So, when he grabbed a bag of white powder, opened it, dipped his gum in hopes of enhancing its flavor, and popped it in his mouth,
So he thought it was citric acid, and he stuck it in. This is what happens when you're studying too long, or
it
was
was
he
too
working on
late
something
when
else?
the truth
'Cause
was
something
finally revealed.
Sounds off here.
He dipped his gum in the wrong bag.
No
So,
shit.
he dipped his gum into an unidentified explosive powder and put it in his mouth?
I mean, yeah, I guess because sodium is in water, right? So I guess that would potentially would it be that fine of a powder that you wouldn't be able to like? I guess if you weren't looking, right? Like if you just like randomly like put it like I don't know. I guess I don't understand how you'd make this fucking mistake. I guess if you're just like really tired, I guess that could make sense. But I guess
Shoot it, then bang?
Well, that's the theory. Except he likely knew what the substance was, as he would have had to obtain it, likely from school, and bring it home with some kind of clear intention.
Yeesh. Buddy should have really invested
question
in the shop.
though is why did he need to take something home that is basically an explosive? Like, and this is obviously not like for, you know, like it's probably not for like a YouTube video for like from like Nile Red or something like that. This sounds like why would you need this specific thing? I don't know.
Hindsight, that may have been a more wise choice. But accidents do happen, and unfortunately, this one ended in tragedy. Anybody could have mixed them up, said police spokeswoman Elvira. But something we all really want to know is, what on earth could the mystery substance have been? First of all, whatever it was would have to resemble citric acid enough to be mistaken for it.
Right.
Explosive materials like TNT, RDX, and HMX all appear similar enough to citric acid to be mistaken for it, as they can also be white and...
Yeah, but none of those would like automatically explode in your mouth, right? You would need like a starter of some kind, right? Like it wouldn't just be like, you know, you chewing on something that could create something with those, right?
color and without a distinct odor. But the likelihood of them being our culprits goes out the window with the fact that they are all powerful high explosives that are hard to find. It's not very likely that
They're also heavily controlled. I guess maybe it was a chemical reaction with the because obviously he was dipping the his gum prior into citric acid, so maybe there's a chemical reaction between the citric acid residue on the gum and maybe the chewing. I don't know.
Used or needed for Vlad's studies, even in lab work. During a discussion on the situation, Redditor Rue Threatening Me wagered $5 to their notion that the substance that Vladimir dipped his gum into was AgCNO, or rather, silver fulminate. The guess carries some weight, as it does appear the substance is a solid white powder and is extremely sensitive to friction, heat, and shock, which would all likely occur during chewing. And if it were to detonate, it would let out a loud bang, much like the one Vladimir's family heard.
So that's it then. Case closed.
Not quite. Due to how easily reactive silver fulminate is,
Yeah, but isn't this like incredibly like restricted?
it's not even recommended that it is kept in any type of storage, let alone a small bag for a chemistry student
Right, because it would like it could like explode in your fucking pocket.
to take home. It is also classified as a primary explosive, making it very unlikely that he would have access to it as a student bound by what are hopefully pretty strict safety guidelines.
So if
Apparently
not that,
not.
then what the heck was this mystery powder he popped into his mouth?
Well, another substance that might likely be the cause
Okay,
of
so it
our
wasn't
dearly
that one,
departed
then.
Vladimir's gum dipping mishap would be acetone peroxide, or TATP. It shares a similar enough appearance to be mistaken for citric acid,
That does honestly almost look entirely like citric acid.
white and powdery, is highly
I actually have citric acid in my kitchen, but I've actually had it for like 6 years now, so it's oxidized the entire interior of the container that it's in, so it's like a light brown. It's interesting though because it has like a sweet smell to it. So I guess it like in any like major amount, you would have like a bowl of it, and you could smell it because it's like a slightly sweet smell to it. So for me, it'd be like, how would you not notice there's a difference unless this chemical also has that kind of smell? Because citric acid has this like very distinct smell to it.
explosive and can be created pretty easily by just using common chemicals. And the most telling? Chemistry students and extremists have been known to experiment with it due to how relatively easy it is to produce.
I didn't think
But
of
it's
the extremist
reportedly
side.
illegal to create, possess, or use acetone peroxide in most countries, which means if it was the unidentified substance, then there is a possibility that Vladimir could have been using it with ill intentions. Acetone peroxide is known to be unstable and sensitive
Well, I guess if he was using it for ill intentions, then he may have gotten what he deserved. If he wasn't, and it was accidental, that sucks. But
to shock, friction, and heat, which would help
If
its
it's
case
the
as being
latter,
a dangerous
then-
thing to coat gum with before chewing, but doesn't explain how he was able to transport it from his university to his home. Unless he created it himself at home, that is, since, as we mentioned, it's not that difficult to create for someone who knows what they're doing.
Right.
So we can't say with 100% certainty what the exact culprit of the explosion was, because authorities refused to send samples of it to be tested out of fears of a repeat explosion. And while forensic experts were sent to the scene, we couldn't find any reports identifying what they may have uncovered. Either way, it is a horrible turn of events that cost a young student their life.
Yeah, awful.
One sub
Don't eat
really
gum.
helps. And check out this.
Sorry, I accidentally jumped forward 10 seconds. That was my bad.
But hey, at least chewing gum is safe, as long as you don't dip it in explosives.
Ew. If you enjoyed this
He just picked it off the ground.
video, then please go and hit the subscribe button.
His favorite drink started dissolving his skull. That just looks great.